Okay.
Hi, welcome.
I love the eagle shirt. We've got a
Thank you. It's my crop top
mhm,
and it's bedazzled.
mhm.
Speaking of bedazzled, do you know
Yeah.
that that is very on trend right now? Bedazzling everything.
Really?
Yes, bedazzling. I heard this. This is from a teenage client, so it's
Okay.
for real. It's
Okay.
a real thing. Like an Aquaphor bottle, like the cap, like makeup bottle, bedazzle the lid. That's the
Okay.
thing. No, it's happening.
Okay.
And it's a crazy time.
It is.
Okay, speaking of it, so today's episode is called This Seemed Like a Good Idea at the time. So it's like, do you ever do something and immediately know this is going to cost me later?
Oh.
Like,
Mhm.
and you immediately know, like, retro, but then you do it anyway.
Mhm.
So you like text him after you said, like, I am done, or you say yes to plans that you don't want to go to. We should hang out sometimes. You're like, yeah. And in your head, you immediately were like, we're going to pay for this.
So, you know how you make that obligatory offer sometimes?
I didn't have enough data yet. Let me try it
Right.
again. Going back into something you already decided wasn't working. I will do that with like,
Mhm.
a drawer stuck and I'm like, let's pull on it one more time. It will work.
Or just like you see the junk drawer and you're like, I should put the scissors down because the next time I open it, they're going to get caught and the
Yep.
whole drawer is going to be
Yep.
stuck. It's going to take me 2 days to get in there. You don't do it. Like, I don't know. You have the thought, just don't
You
do it.
see it and you
Mhm.
walk
Mhm.
into the punch
Mhm.
and overcommitting when you're already stretched thin. That's probably my like worst one, especially right now in my life. What do
Mhm.
you think is I did it and immediately I was like, regrets.
Mine would be, well, because the introvert, mine would be like, sure, we'll go.
I'd be like,
And I'm like, damn it, I shouldn't have said it. Yeah.
yeah. So it's like not even a question because you can tell when you're doing the thing and that
Mhm.
it's like not aligned, which kind of goes to our episode of
Yeah.
like the identity shift. Like you
Hmm.
can like sometimes physically feel in your body, like this is not
This
it.
goes against where I'm naturally supposed to be.
Yeah. People pleasing, like she don't live here anymore, but I'm doing it anyway. And the worst part is and you knew before you hit send,
Yep.
before you said yes,
Hmm.
before you walked back into it, you didn't stop yourself.
And the worst is when there's time, so somebody asks you to do something, it's like 3 months away. You're like, of course I will. And then the 3 months come. You're like,
That's where you got to think about future you.
yeah. I always think future me is always going to want to do things. And then we get to future and
Oh,
they're like,
what?
girl, you know you.
Does future you really think that?
Future me thinks that I'm going to want to go.
She drinking the Kool-Aid.
I know. I
I don't
know.
know her. I never met her.
Yeah. Future
Future
me
you?
has a lot more
Okay.
motivation to do things than current me. So current me says future me will go.
Oh,
You
see,
keep tagging in a different person, right?
no, I have
I'm
the
like,
opposite
future me will
problem.
go.
Future me is like, UTF. Current me is like, we're doing it. Say yes to more things. Do you have time to do any of this? No. Say yes to it anyway. Future me is like, why? Why did you wake up and choose violence? I'm like, I don't know. It's just what I
You're
do.
like writing that check when you know you don't have the money in that account.
Yep.
You're like, let's just see if they'll cash it.
You even putting like hearts over the eye. You're like, doo,
Uh
doo,
huh. Yep.
doo. And we don't do these things impulsively. We like talk ourselves into it and we'll say things like, it's not a big deal. It'll be different this
Yep.
time, just this one time.
Mhm.
It's just a season of life I'm
Right.
in.
Right
I'm
season.
overthinking it. I say that to myself, like when I'm like, people are like, you doing any self care lately? Because my life is like kind of crazy. And I'm like, yeah, what I am. I'm like running, but I usually do so much self care.
Mhm.
The lies I'm telling myself are this, but a season.
Oh,
Girl, you know that
sure.
like I had a season. I was a week out of it and I started another season and I said yes to it.
You're a serial seasoner. Yeah.
And it sounds reasonable in the moment, right? Like what you were saying,
Yes.
plans and
It
stuff.
makes sense. We make it make sense in the moment.
Yeah. That's what I
Yeah.
think every time I sign up for a race, like a half marathon, I'm like, this sounds like a great idea. Future me is like, again, what are we doing?
That is one thing I will never do. I will never
Say
convince
never.
myself that a race will be an amazing idea. I did one once through like a wine vineyard because I was promised wine at the end of it. And it was like we ran at 7 o'clock
You're like,
in
I
the
could have just
morning.
gone to like the wine section at the local grocery store
Absolutely. Yep.
and it would have been fine. So yeah, it sounds reasonable. And I think that's why it's such a trap because it doesn't feel like you're making necessarily like a bad
Hmm.
decision. It feels like you're making, and this is the trap. It's not a bad decision. It's an acceptable
Hmm.
decision. And that's how we get away with it. They're like, well, it's not bad. It's not good, but it's
Hmm.
acceptable.
Yeah.
It's tolerable. It's a tolerable decision. But what you're actually doing is like overriding your own boundary
Hmm.
in real time. And you're feeling the no and choosing yes anyway. That
Yeah.
one, it's so rough, I
Yeah.
think.
Well, because we're preconditioned to challenge the no. Are you really saying no? Should you really say no? Is it right for you to say no? And so then we're leaning more towards yes, which can be great and also not so great.
And also not so great. So the mental health lens, what we call this is self-abandonment.
Yeah.
I think self-abandonment is another one like, ooh, that feels like a lot for what I'm doing. Like I just said yes when I meant no.
Hmm?
That's self-abandonment.
Yeah.
Like the word abandonment should make you stop dead in your
Yeah, yeah.
tracks.
I think too, one of the things that you have to do when you're challenging that thinking is challenge the word should, because oftentimes the should creeps in as to when you're making the decision as to
Mhm.
saying yes or saying no. And what you'll hear is, I should really go. I should say yes. I should show up. I should buy that ticket. I should say yes to that trip. And if there's the word should in there, challenge the word should, because should is a word that we know pops up often in anxiety, anxious thinking, and negative thinking. And it's negative in its connotation, right? So any way I say the word should still means I didn't or I wouldn't or I couldn't. So if I should have shown up here earlier today means I didn't. If I should get more
Mhm.
sleep, it means I didn't get enough
It's
sleep.
shamey. It really is it's
Yeah.
like equal sign shame. Like you should. Well, that's just shame. But my question always to clients when they're like, I should, I go, according to whom?
Well, again, it's that negative narrative in your brain. So when it comes up in your decision making, stop. Really take a pause and say, I just used the word should in my head. Why?
But
Why?
also,
If I really want to buy Phillies tickets and I want to go to the game, there is no should. I'm
mhm.
dying to go to the game. I want to go. Let's get tickets and let's go. If there is a should probably say yes, take a beat and examine, do I really want to do this? Is this truly a yes?
And then also ask when you say a should, like, who's saying that?
Mhm.
Because 9 times out of 10, it's not really your, like, authentic voice. It's, like,
Right.
society or a family member or somebody else that's like, "Well,
Mhm.
you should do
You
this," and
should
you're
have.
like, "Oh, that's not really me." So self-abandonment is the moment when you choose short-term relief over long-term self-trust, and I
Mhm.
think that's the part that people don't realize. They're like, "The math isn't mathing," is
Yeah.
like, every time I do this, I might feel relief in the moment because I didn't have to say, "No, Brenda, I don't wanna come to your freaking baby shower. Don't invite me." And so I feel relief in the
Sorry,
moment
Brenda.
over long term self trust, which I will just say I know myself now. Don't invite me to a baby shower.
Right.
I don't like them.
She's
I
made that
don't know
perfectly
why. And
clear.
it's just I'm just owning it now.
But that's the whole thing you're talking about, right? Is
Hmm.
instead of abandoning what I know to be true now about myself, and we just referenced the identity crisis episode, but that talked about how to establish your true authentic self, who you are now, which
Hmm.
changes a lot. If you're respecting who you are now and you know what you like and you don't like, where you want to go and you don't want to go, finding the comfort and making sense of saying, it's just not my thing. I'm not interested in going. Like, thank you though, right? There's power in that.
I also love that you said the word comfort and not familiar. Choose what is
Mhm.
actually comfortable. Don't choose what is just familiar. And we
Right.
talk about that a lot. And the self trust, it's like the erosion of that is so subtle. And so it doesn't feel dramatic. It feels like it's not a big deal. So it's like you're not confused. You're just kind of convincing yourself. And we use like
Yeah.
rationalizing and justifying and all kinds of like fancy things
Yes.
to
Well,
like ease the discomfort
yes.
of the self abandonment.
Well, I've been having this conversation a lot with people now. There's a little bit of a progression of people trying to, I guess, maybe re-establish their drinking styles. I think, and we've talked about this in other episodes. Drinking is kind of going through this different
It's going
morphosis.
through a rebrand,
Yeah, it
thank
really
God.
is, right? So
Mm.
so some people are really trying to make sense of their relationship with drinking and like where they want that to be. And they're trying to find out like, okay, I feel really crappy the next day. So do I really want to be doing this? And can I really change my relationship with this? And I think that that's something where a lot of people are asking themselves the next day, make this make sense to me. I don't feel good afterwards. I
Yep.
don't really love who I am. I don't really like how I act, but I do enjoy having a few drinks or a few cocktails. So like,
But you're like, "But do I think
mhm,
drinking is a great thing to apply to this episode. I think
which,
that's a great thing that people are redefining, reconsidering
yeah,
that, like, it seemed like a good idea at the time, and I think that one uses a lot of the stuff we talk
it
about,
does.
realization, justification. It's the holidays, it's a
Sure.
Phillies game, it's this, it's
Mhm.
this.
It's summer. It's hot. It's this.
Right, and it's like but as soon it's like you do something, you immediately know it's gonna cost me later.
Yeah.
It's gonna cost me later.
This is going to have natural consequences that I am always saying I don't like.
My favorite is the saying, "Well, well, well, if it isn't, the natural consequences of my chosen behavior. We meet again. So you get the short term relief in the moment, right? You're like,
Yes.
yeah, Brenda, I'll be there. And then the second wave hits you. And then
Mhm.
you get regret, frustration, pissed off at yourself. Why did I say that? Right?
Right.
You're tearing around your closet. Why did I say I would go to this event?
Got nothing to wear to
Yeah.
it.
And now you're not just dealing with a situation, like you're dealing with yourself because it's not just like that didn't go well. Now you're pissed off because you're like, I didn't listen to myself. I knew I shouldn't have done
Mhm.
this. I knew it and I said yes anyway. And I
Mhm.
proceeded.
Well, it's also just a sense of failing yourself if you really think about it,
Yes.
right? Like, there's
Yes.
this sense of like,
Absolutely.
I keep letting myself down. I keep
Yes.
telling myself I don't like this certain thing. Or, let's take a relationship. Like, I keep telling myself this relationship isn't great for me, right? But I keep talking myself into doing this. So it's like, well, when do I become true to myself? When do I listen to myself? When I
Mm-hmm.
trust myself enough to say, nope, I know what is right.
Yeah, absolutely. And to your point, it's like that whole thing of like, I didn't listen to myself creates this like shame loop
Yeah.
where you can be shame spiraling. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, especially for women, like how many women like shame spiral while they're trying to get ready for an event in their closet?
I told you I did that this morning.
How much of that do you think might be related to this?
Everything. I mean,
Right. But now that I think about it, it's like, yeah, I'm like disappointed I said yes. I'm disappointed I agreed to something.
yeah.
I'm disappointed. So it's like
Let me tell
that
you the
shows up a
thought
lot.
process that happened in my closet this morning.
Ooh, tell
Right.
me.
So I come up from doing something healthy, right? So I did my like morning like workout things, right? So I'm feeling good about that part. And then you get to my closet and I immediately do not feel good after I get to the closet because said closet no longer has clothes that I enjoy, no longer has clothes that I like. I've convinced myself I have nothing to wear on a daily basis. I'm now miserable in the closet. And this routine happens all the time.
It's
All the
scary
time.
in there.
All the time.
It can
All
be
the time.
scary in there.
But to your point, it's do I really have nothing to wear? Okay, the reality is there are clothes in there. There are clothes in there I could wear.
There's fabric in the
Right.
shape
There
of
is there is
clothes.
the clothing to be worn in that
Mhm.
closet. Maybe it's true that I don't like some of it. Maybe it's true that I want to upgrade or change or, change the whole look that I've got going on in there. Yeah, all that is in there. It's true. But who's telling me all that? Is it me? And if it is me, what's the action plan? Or is it what I see from other people, what I think other people think? Places that I'm saying yes to going to, and I think the attire is a certain way or a different way. So all those things kind of play into that.
Yeah, and the shame loop is self-criticism, repeat, rinse, wash,
Happen
repeat.
all in the closet.
And the self-criticism, it's not helping you, it's just making you feel worse, the
Yes.
self-criticism part of that. So it's like behavior, regret, shame, self-criticism is
Right.
shame, repeat. And the shame part, it just makes you feel worse, which makes you more likely to do it again the next time you need relief
Which
because
makes no sense, right? Makes
you
no
feel like
sense.
shit. You're like, I don't
Mhm.
feel good. So I want the short term relief. My brain is going to be like, we don't want to feel like that again, even though it's like, that's why we feel like that again.
Yeah.
So now it's not just a decision pattern, it becomes an emotional.
Yes. And you talk yourself into it. So case in point, the closet, right? You could say to me, okay, Nina, well, you went through all that this morning. Is your game plan to hit TJ Maxx and Marshalls when you leave here today? It is not.
Mine is
It,
later today.
but that would be the action
I'll
plan,
do
right?
it for you.
I know, right? I need you to. We went shopping the other day. She's like, for the love of God, get out of that.
It was a size section. Okay. I don't know about you, but I am like, and I'll talk about this in a minute. But when I was younger, I don't know if I was the only girl, so there was no hand me downs, but my mom would be like, I was a like tiny kid, like just built tiny,
Uh-huh.
thin as a rail. A strong gust of wind could blow me over. She's like, I'm shopping for clothes. If it's a size large, I'm not getting it. So what? It would fit me for 4 seasons. It don't fit me right now.
That's how I shop. And she was like, what are you doing? I was like, eventually it will trickle down
No,
fitting me, right? And I'll get like the
no,
longest.
that makes
She
that
was like,
math.
that makes no sense. I was like, no, that's how you keep your clothes longer.
Yeah, your clothes gonna outlast your sanity.
That's true.
Like we are not here for that.
Yeah, that's
That's
true.
not what it's supposed to
Yeah.
be.
Back to the point was there an action plan for me to go shopping today, even though I was miserable in the closet? Nope. And am I going to have the same conversation again tomorrow? I am so going to have the same conversation tomorrow. So it's that loop. It's the shame of it.
Mhm.
And then I could go do something about it. I'm not going to go do something about it. And we'll just keep repeating this until the pain gets great
Great
enough.
enough. So you don't need perfect self-control because that's not possible. What you do need, and you talked about this, is a pause. So
Mhm.
even a small one, because right now what happens is there is an urge and then there's an action behavior. And there's no space, no interruption. It's like default. It's like
Mhm.
urge the thing. So just having a little space to kind of ask yourself, like, what happens after this? I'll do that. I'm like, I don't want to do the dishes right now. And then I pause and I go, future me, weigh in. Future me goes, girl, get the soap
Mhm.
because future me is not having it.
We're
She's
doing
like,
it
don't you
now.
leave this shit
Mhm.
for me.
Mhm.
She is not feeling that. She is like, I don't think so.
Right. And nowhere in the history of ever has anybody wanted to do the domestic chores later either. You're not gonna have this
Ready now.
right?
No, you're not.
No.
I wasn't ready then, and I'm
Right.
especially not
I
ready
don't
now.
wanna do it now. I'm not gonna wanna do it later.
Yeah. So what happens after this? So you're not asking, what do I want right now? Because what I want right now is to not do the dishes and quite frankly, never do them again. But so instead of asking yourself that, you're asking, what is this going to create for me later? And that's actually now I've done it enough. My brain does think that way. I look at the dish and then I look at future me pissed off, standing over there like
At
tired.
10:30 at night.
Yeah, she is
Right.
angry.
Or worse, damn you. Damn you who's like, "You bitch, stuck in here now. We have to scrub harder than we would have had to. I cannot believe your lazy ass left this here from last night."
Get out the Brillo pad.
Mhm. Scrub
Now
daddy, let's go.
the scrub daddy can't even do it. We need steel wool. And yeah, it's like, and asking that question, like, what does this create for me later? You already know.
Mm.
You're just acknowledging it and accepting it. That's
Right.
the difference. Because you've been done known. So, like with the dishes, the outcome is I'm choosing a more peaceful version of me
Mhm.
versus I'm choosing to do the dishes now. Like, that's not really what I'm doing. Preparing for this podcast, I could have done this morning. I stayed
Mhm.
up later last night, even though it was late, because I was choosing an outcome of like, I want my morning to be
Right.
not a dumpster
Which is
fire.
a semblance of control, which actually is calming for us and it makes sense to us. And so
Mhm.
you're actually kind of taking control over what will happen to me, what is going to happen to me, which helps us make a lot more sense of our decisions.
It really does. So, the tool we're going to give you is
Mhm.
called the after check. So, before you do the thing, ask, how am I going to feel in 10 minutes
Mhm.
after this? How will I feel tomorrow? Am I going to have to clean up this later, metaphorically or literally? And
Mhm.
actually legitimately answer it because most of the time, again, you already know, you just don't really want to sit with it.
Right.
And if you already know the aftermath, that's your answer. So I'll
Mhm.
give you an example of my own life of a series of unfortunate events that seemed like a good idea at the time. It never were. So I had to go to the doctor this morning. This happens to me all the time. The nurse goes, "Hi, welcome back. I just need to get a quick wait." And I go, "No, thank you." And without fail, she looks at me confused. And I was like, "Yeah, I'm not doing that." I have not been forward facing on a scale since let me do some math. 2008.
Sidebar, why would anyone be forward facing on a scale? That is
Correct.
one of the first things we tell people
Right.
is zhoo, zhoo, turn
Yeah.
yourself around and do
So
not face that scale. You get the same weight with your backside facing it.
right. So today my doctor goes, "Oh, good. I see you got to wait today." I go, "No, I didn't. I guess she just made something up." My doctor was like,
Just threw some numbers on there.
and I go, "Listen, I'm not opposed to doing it, but every time I ask them, they will put it into my vitals and I see it when I go to log in and I can't. That's not good
Mhm.
for me. I know. I have enough forethought to say, I know that's not good." And my
Mhm.
doctor goes, "No worries. I got you. I'm going to put it in a secret place. I'm going to write down my post-it." The doctor
Mhm.
walks with me. God bless her. She was so lovely. Walked me, stood backwards. She wrote on a post-it and she goes, "Okay, go." And let me walk forward while she beep, beep, beep the thing.
Perfect.
And then the lady at the front goes, "Okay, I'm going to give you a printout of today's visits." I go, "Oh, Lord." I was like, "Oh no, this is always where it is. It's going to tell me my blood pressure,
Gonna be right
my pulse."
there.
It was not there.
Nice, doctor. Way to go.
So that's building self trust. Like,
Yes.
yeah, I get weird looks and I'm like, "No, thank you. I'm
You
not
should
doing that. I'm not
tell I
interested."
tell everybody that what is the benefit of knowing your weight
That never
across the
seems like a
board?
it's not a good idea.
No,
It's not a metric for
pregnant
anything.
women, turn around. Your doctors will tell you at some point in time, in any scope of your healthcare, if you are underweight or overweight. Let them be the tellers of that information when it is medically necessary. Otherwise, what do we need to know?
Also, can I just say the last time I saw my doctor was in October. And when she came in today, before she even said, "How are you doing?" She goes, "You look great." She was like, "You look amazing." I was like, then she said, "You look amazing." I was like,
Oh, yeah. Now she's the favorite doctor ever.
she's the best.
Yeah. Okay. So hit us up on any of the social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. You can watch our show there so you can see our mannerisms and all the funky things
You're really
that we
missing
do.
out if you
really are.
haven't seen it.
And also nearlynormalpodcast.com where you can interact with us, send us any information, send us ideas for any topics. We would love them. Any feedback on anything that you want to hear from us or don't want to hear from us ever again, which is also fine. You can hit us up there. And in the meantime,
Until next time, stay nearly normal.